Hey digital makers, Christina here from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us for Digital Making at Home. This week we are making art, so let's jump right in. We're going to use a short link to get to our project, rpf.io/dm-snowflake. So this is going to take us to the Turtle Snowflakes project. This is a Python project. So if you're new to Python, awesome. Stay, don't go, okay? I promise to take care of you. This is a great project for someone who is just getting started with Python. It's also a great project if you know a little bit about Python. It's really neat to see how you can use code to create art. We're going to be creating these geometric shapes that you see here. What I'll be doing is I'll be following along on with these steps. So I'll be working through each of these steps, and they're kind of like a table of contents. So we start off with our introduction. Go to what we'll need. We're just going to need a computer. So a computer that can access Trinket or a computer with Python 3. And I'll show you what Trinket is in a second. So we're going to start. How to draw with Python Turtle. So we're going to open up a blank Python template in Trinket. Trinket is an all-in-one coding environment. So here on the left is where we're going to write our code. We'll click Run when we're ready, and our code's going to come to life here over in the right. So before we start, I want to adjust a little bit. Feel free to do the same. Here on the menu, I'm actually going to make my font size bigger so we can see. Now we are going to do some coding. So this first line of code here, this line tells our computer that we're using Python 3. So next line of code is we're going to import the turtle library. So we want to write import turtle. What that means is you're basically kind of importing a package. Okay, you're telling the computer, hey, I want this package of tools that I'm now going to use to code. So we're bringing in that library. And next we're going to do is we're going to name our turtle. So to name our turtle, you get to pick a name. So in the project, you'll see that they use the name Elsa. Snowflakes, Elsa. Has anyone been watching Frozen while you've been staying home? So you can use Elsa. You can use anything you want. I'm a big fan of Olaf, so I'm going to use Olaf as my turtle name. And to do that, tell the computer, hey computer, my turtle's named Olaf. You type in the name. I'm going to do equals and turtle dot turtle. Now you want to make it a short name. So Elsa, Olaf, those are good names because you're going to have to type this multiple times. So make sure it's something short. So we've got that line 3, Olaf equals turtle dot turtle with a capital T. That capitalization is important. Parentheses. Next line is we're going to make our turtle. I'm going to make Olaf move. So to do that, I'm going to type Olaf period forward parentheses 100. What I like about Trinket too is that it's automatically giving me that closed parentheses, which is really helpful. Something I like to do too is I like to organize my code a little bit just by giving some space. So I'm going to little enter there. So let's see if our code works. Okay, all right. We have got Olaf is moving, our turtle is moving. So Olaf has now moved forward. Let's get Olaf to turn. We can do that by telling, we have to be really specific with our computer. So which way do we want to go? I'm going to have Olaf turn right. So Olaf.right. And Olaf's going to turn 90 degrees. That's what that 90 is for. It's for the degrees of the turn. So Olaf right. And you'll see this little arrow here, it did turn, but it didn't go anywhere because I need to add another line of code. Computers need directions. So Olaf, we're going to add a line of code that now tells the turtle to move. We're going to do another 100 steps. Okay, all right. So from here, I'm going to try and make a square and see if you can try and make a square. Feel free to pause the video and try and create one and then come back. And I'm going to move into making the square now. So the next thing I want to do, I'm now at this point. So I need to make Olaf turn. So Olaf is going to turn right again, another 90 degrees. So after turn, we're going to go forward, then turn, then forward. Okay. So Olaf forward 100, Olaf right 90, and then I think, yeah, one more. Olaf forward, oops, that's really big, 100. Okay. Yes. All right. We've got a square. That's awesome. So this is great. Look, first, if this is your first time coding in Python, congratulations. Give yourself a high five. That's really exciting. Now, we want to make sure our code is saved. So either you can have an account, or what you can do, you don't have to have an account. You can go up here to the top, it says share. If you click this arrow and click link, that'll give you a link that is your unique link. So that is where your project lives. So you can always refer back to that link. So make sure, just copy and paste that somewhere safe so you can come back to your project. Now we have gotten our turtle to move forward. We've gotten our turtle to turn. So something I'm going to show you now is how to, we're going to use a loop. So right now we just wrote all this code, and that's one way to do it. There's another way to do it that's a little bit more efficient. It's using a loop. So instead of writing all of this code multiple times, because it's really the same thing, what I'm going to do is, I know that these are the main pieces of code that I wanted to happen. And so to make a square, these had to happen, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm going to add in a loop. This is similar if you've ever used Scratch. This is like the repeat block in Scratch. So for I in range, and in the parentheses, I'm going to put how many times. So I'm creating a loop to repeat this code. So I'm going to put this 4. And that's going to tell my code how many times, or the computer how many times I want this code to run. So I'm going to go ahead and delete line 8 through 12. And then, oh, one thing I did forget, I need to add in a colon at the end of that loop. And then I need to indent here. So to indent, you can go to the beginning of the line and click tab. Same there. So for both of these. So now let's see if this works. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is big. We have created a square with code and using a loop. So that's awesome. Now I encourage you, if you want to take what I'll call a creative pause, if you want to pause the video and be creative with the numbers, go in and explore, like see what happens. Like right now we've got a pretty square, but let's see if I change this to 120, change this angle to 60. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. All right. So play with it, see what happens there. So I'm gonna go back to my square. Make sure we got our square. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make another shape. So the next shape we're going to do is we're going to make a parallelogram. And you've probably seen this shape before. It's just going to be a new name. So I'm going to change this code here. I'm going to change this to 2. And line 6 is going to be forward 100. And line 7 is Olaf right. It's going to be 60. And then I'm going to add in another line of Olaf, forward 100, Olaf, right 120. So what I'm doing now is I'm telling the computer that I want to repeat line 6 through 9 2 times. Let's go ahead and run that. And that gives us a parallelogram. And so we are going to now, we've just created this. Okay, so I'm going to go back and check. So we're here now at using loops to create shapes. We just finished that. We're going to do creating spiral patterns. So we've just made our parallelogram. Oh, this is right. We're going to put loops inside of loops. So that's what we're going to do here. So this is how we're going to make that shape that we saw earlier. So we're getting there. So to do that, we have this first loop here. I'm going to go down. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in another loop. So for I in range, and we're going to do this 10 times. And what we can do here, all of these need to be indented because they're now going to be in that loop. And to do that, what you can do, this is a trick, you can highlight all the code and then click tab, and that indents everything that you highlighted. Now, if we run this, I forgot the colon. put that there for line 5. There we go. Now, if you run this, what you're going to see right now is my turtle is just going around and doing this code 10 times. I'm going to stop that because it's making me a little dizzy. So we have to add in one more thing. We have to add in another turn. And so I'm going to put in that turn right here at the end. Actually, make sure your indentations, you're following along with the indentations. The next thing we're going to do is Olaf, right. I'm going to add in one more turn. It's going to be a 36-degree turn. And you'll see what that does right now, which is really cool. So we've got our first parallelogram and then turn. Okay, now we've got another parallelogram. That's the 36-degree turn there. That's now causing us to create new shapes. So now we're creating a snowflake. This is really exciting. So, wow, okay, looks really cool. So we've got our shape. So now let's actually add some colors. And what's cooler than having a snowflake be drawn was actually having like the turtle draw the snowflake. So this is a really cool line of code that's actually not in this project, but I'm going to tell you about it. You may have seen it if you've done another Turtle Python project. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a turtle. And what do you mean, Christine? We've already been doing, no, you'll know what I mean. So go ahead up at the top, go Olaf dot shape, parentheses, and we're going to put in turtle. So we're changing the shape. You're going to see what I mean right now. See that? We now have a turtle drawing our snowflake. So that's your little trick for the week. Then we're actually going to change the color. So let's do Olaf dot color. You have to spell that the American way if I have any folks from the UK watching me. And then we're going to put in a color. Let's do blue. And run it. Ooh, look at that. All right, we've got a blue snowflake. So our code is working. I'm just going to stop it because we don't need to see the whole thing. And if you want to see some colors, what you can do is you can just open a new tab and you type in trinket color. These are all the colors that you could use in Trinket. So you can pick any color and great, yeah, and then it'll tell you the turtle name for the color. So yeah, we can use lawn green to try it out, to change it up. Lawn green. Neat. Okay, that's great. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to set up our turtle. Well, actually, a couple things. We're going to add in, it looks like, a background color. Then we can also set it up where the colors are going to change randomly. Whew, this is a lot, but we're doing great. So let's start by, we're going to add another line under line 5. We're going to change the background of our, we're going to change the background of our screen. So you can type in turtle screen with a capital S, parentheses, then BG, background color. Let's make our background blue just to see how that looks. Make sure to spell it correctly. Now let's run it. Ooh, look at that. That looks great. Okay. Now again, if you need a creative pause, feel free to pause the video, play with the colors, play with the numbers, like make this your own design. That's what makes it cool, is how you can personalize it to be your own. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can actually code the colors to change randomly as your turtle is drawing your snowflake. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is we are going to import another library. So right under import turtle, up here at the top, we're going to put import random. Okay. And then we're going to change the background color to gray. Line 7 for me. Oops. And then we are going to add in a line here, right under background. We're going to make a variable. We're going to call that variable colors. So colors equals, we're going to use brackets. And you can type in, I'm going to type in 4 colors. So I think I'm going to use blue. So let's pick some fun colors. Let's see, we've got blue. Ooh, aquamarine. It's a good one. Orchid. Magenta. Okay. And I think white. Okay, so I'm going to do blue, aqua, marine, and magenta. And all these actually should have quotes around them, so don't forget those. Okay, so aquamarine, there we go. And then what did I say the next one? I'm just going to do magenta. And then I'll do white. I'll move this over so you can see that full line there. Okay, so now we've got a variable for colors. And then what we're going to do is at the end of our code, at the end of the loop specifically, right under Olaf, right? So right under, I'm now moved here to line 17. I'm going to type in Olaf color and then random. So this is going to tell the computer to choose a random color. Colors. See how I highlighted it? Because what's great about Trinket is it's reminding me that I named my variable colors here on line 8, so I have to use the same thing. So colors, here we go. Oh, let's see if this works, fingers crossed. If it doesn't work, that's okay, we'll fix it. But it looks to be working. Yes! All right, see, so we've got our turtle is drawing our snowflake and just choosing random colors. It's really favoring white right now. Oh, there we go. So, okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, that's really cool. So we have done a lot. We have coded, we've created a gray background, we've added in a variable for colors. We have a turtle that is drawing the shape that we created here, line 12 through 15, and we're making a snowflake. This is great, folks. So the next thing that we're going to do, and this is the final piece I'll show you here on the projects page. So we've done all of this, and the last thing we do is we're going to use a function to draw a snowflake. So we're going to make our snowflake look even more like a snowflake. So to do that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move back up here, and we are going to add some code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out this code. So to do that, because I don't want to delete it, what I'm going to comment out is I'm going to add a pound sign at the beginning. So that's going to tell the computer not to read this code, so not to do any actions here. So I'm going to comment out all of these just for right now. So it's here when I run, like nothing's happening. That's great. That means I've commented out that code, and you can always remove those pound signs and bring that code back. So I'm going to do for this new drawing, I am going to use a line of code that's going to cause the turtle to move to a new location without drawing anything. So I'm going to use pen up, so Olaf, pen up, and then Olaf forward, 90, and then Olaf left, 45, Olaf pen down. So what this is going to do, what it should do, is we're going to have our turtle move. Okay, great. And it didn't draw anything because the pen up was like, you're going to lift your pen up just like when you're writing on a pencil or writing like on a piece of paper. If you lift your pen up, nothing gets written on the paper. So now we are going to draw a new design. I'm going to show you what that design is. So our new design here, I'm going to move this up so you can see it. Let's go ahead. We're going to do Olaf forward 30, Olaf backward 30, Olaf right 45, Olaf. We're going to start with that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, Okay, now what I'm going to do is to continue this, I'm going to create a loop. So for I in range, we're going to do this 3 times, colon. Remember, we've got to indent here. So we're going to have this run 3 times. And then I'm going to add in some more code. Ooh, we're actually double looping here. Okay, so we're going to have another loop at the top for I in range 3. Okay, there we go. So we've got a loop and a loop. So we're starting here with for I in range 3. Then we've got here, so we want to indent here. And then we're adding in another line where we're going to have Olaf left 90, Olaf backward. Feel free to pause at any time so you can copy this code. You'll see what it's doing in a second. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. And then Olaf right 90, Olaf forward 90. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, excellent. Okay. So you see, this is what we've created. We have created, this looks a little bit more like a snowflake, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to define this. We're going to define a function. So we're going to have this be defined as the function branch. So to do that, I wanted you to see this shape first. So what we're going to do is we're going to make all of this be the function branch. So right here at the top, right above line 15, I'm going to put the line DEF, so for define, and then branch, and then colon. And so then I'm going to highlight all the code that we just wrote there. I'm going to indent it so that it's under branch, okay? Now, so what I've just done is I basically told the computer, I've said, hey, if I type this out, branch, parentheses, this is what I want to happen, okay? So what we're going to do now is instead of having to type this all out multiple times, I'm going to tell the computer, I'm going to write a new line of code and a new loop. So for I in range, I'm going to do 8 colon. So because I've defined this function here, branch, as all of this, lines 16 through 25, I now can tell the computer to run this without having to write it over and over and over again. I'm going to tell the computer to run branch 8 times. Now again, this is one of those where we need to add in that little turn so that our turtle creates a new line of our, what's it called? What are we making? Snowflakes. Okay, so 45, here we go. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, fingers crossed. Right, and turn. Yes! So this is now going to happen 8 times. And look, this is starting to look more like a snowflake. This is great. Oh, this is really great. Now, what you can do is you can take this. You have got all this code here now. You can play with the colors, you can play with the shapes, you can play with the angles, and really create some awesome snowflakes. So we want to see what you make. I want to see what art you make. So once you're done, go to share and get the link and head over to rpf.io/home and click on share your project and share your link with us. We'd love to see. I want to see a snowflake that you created. I want to see your unique snowflake. So thanks so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see what you create. Bye.